Hello and welcome to the first episode of Duck TV Sports. I'm Kylie Gelfand alongside Brett Taylor. So Brett, April showers bring May flowers, right?
Oh, of course. But let's get back to Oregon sports because we have a lot to get everyone caught up on. Ranging from Oregon football's spring game to acro and tumbling, we've got a lot to get you caught up on. So let's get started.
In true Autzen fashion, it surprisingly did not rain during the spring game. But the best thing about this game every year is the fact that regardless of the outcome, your team will always win. Mighty Oregon in the green jerseys won 20-13 against the Fighting Ducks Saturday afternoon. We got some action from not only the nation's top recruit, Kayvon Thibodeau, but Tyler Shuck. The redshirt freshman quarterback completed 18 of 31 passes for 178 yards. Juwan Johnson, Josh Delgado, and Micah Pittman combined for 12 receptions for 110 yards, as well as a touchdown. Cyrus Habibi-Likio led all rushers with 45 yards on the ground, with nearly a dozen carries and one touchdown, as well as catching 3 passes for 24 yards. The Ducks look to face the Auburn Tigers in the Advocare Classic in Arlington, Texas. Both Oregon basketball teams made the March Madness tournament this year. However, some fans took issue with the student ticket sales. Reporter Claire Polkonik took to campus to find out more.
The Oregon men's and women's basketball teams both went on March Madness runs in the 2018-2019 season. Duck fans flocked to the games from Eugene to Louisville in order to cheer on their teams. The men's side had the student tickets available for the first and second round games, which were played in San Jose, California, as well as the Sweet 16 round in Louisville, Kentucky. On the women's side, student tickets were also provided for the first 2 rounds, which took place in Eugene. However, when the women's team drove 2 hours up I-5 for their Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games in Portland, there were no student tickets to be found. Some students were confused on why the tickets weren't offered. We're here at the University of Oregon to find out what students think about the situation.
I did not know that.
What do you think about that situation?
I don't really understand how that's possible or why it would happen that way, I guess.
The game that was way more accessible to the students wasn't offered to us, and I don't understand why that was the case when the other game was across the country and we would get tickets to those.
And the women making it to the Final Four, it's kind of obvious where we should be putting our efforts in as fans, and it wasn't directed that way.
I just think it shows maybe a little lack of funding or an unequal kind of where the funding is going.
I think that was a little bit ridiculous, but I didn't really mind paying because I wanted to see them anyways and I love them so much, but I would have loved to have had student tickets and sat with my other fellow students.
We reached out to the women's basketball team to comment, and they said, quote, "Teams in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 receive a very small allotment of tickets, and we were unable to offer any to students," end quote. For Duck TV Sports, I'm Claire Polkonik.
Thanks, Claire. Hopefully there will be changes coming in the future.
Oregon softball has been playing much better as of late since their matchup against the Stanford Cardinal earlier this season, and their improvements continue to show this past weekend when they faced off against the California Golden Bears. The Ducks took 2 out of the 3 games in the series thanks to Jordan Dale's shutout pitching in both Thursday's and Saturday's games. Dale struck out a combined 18 batters and only allowed 9 hits between the 2 victories. And with some batting support from Haley Cruz and Jasmine Severs, who said "see ya" with 2 home runs combined, the Ducks were able to shut out the Bears 1-0 and 4-0 in both games. Coming up next for for Oregon, the Ducks will face off against their in-state rival, Oregon State, this coming Friday, as the team looks to get their second series win at the Jane this season. Much like the Ducks, the Beavers have had an up-and-down season, boasting a dismal 3-14 record in the Pac-12, which should give Oregon a chance to reach the 500 mark for the first time since starting Pac-12 play, if they can sweep the Beavers.
It was a rough weekend for the Oregon baseball team after being swept by the number 2 ranked Stanford Cardinal. On Thursday, Oregon fought a tough battle, losing the game 5-4. Friday, not much of a battle. Stanford jumped on the lead early, scoring 5 runs in the top of the first inning and adding 11 more runs in the 5th and 6th. Gabe Matthews got the Ducks on board with a solo home run. Unfortunately, they lost 20-5. On the bright side, though, Spencer Steer extended his school hitting record, to 18 games in Oregon's 10-0 loss on Sunday. Oregon looks to travel to California to face Cal Berkeley in a 3-game series starting on Friday at 7:05.
The number 2 seeded Oregon Ducks acro and tumbling team are looking to continue a winning tradition at the NCATA National Championships as they face off against the 7th seeded Hawaii Pacific Sharks tomorrow. This will be the Ducks' 9th straight appearance at the Nationals, with the team winning a total of 4 championships and also winning 45 individual titles within that time. However, the main goal for Oregon won't be just winning the title. It'll be winning it over the number 1 seeded Baylor Bears, who have been beating Oregon not once but twice this season by only a combined 12 points. This is a big opportunity for the Ducks to show the country that they are the best acro and tumbling team in the nation. Megan Patrick Nelly, a former UO student athlete, has a unique job while also attending graduate school. Reporter Jasmine McKinley has the story.
Megan Patrick Nelly is not your ordinary University of Oregon graduate student. She is currently the head coach of the Eugene Special Olympics weightlifting team. In 2010, Patrick Nelly arrived to the UO on the track and field cross-country team. She talks about how running has impacted her.
I would show up in a situation outside of running. I felt like I had, something to talk about with other people, and it's hard to describe the feeling, but you just gain so much confidence through your sport that it translates to other areas, and it really helped me as a student and now as a coach to just feel like, I made it through all these really hard practices and races, and I can just apply that to other aspects.
Patrick Nelly discovered the Eugene Special Olympics team through a Google search and has been volunteering her time ever since.
Being with the same athlete season after season and just seeing growth and development and just the increase in confidence and strength and all that, and also just having new athletes come in and find their community, because that's really what sports did for me. So seeing other athletes come in and just gain confidence that they can apply outside of their sport, probably my favorite part.
While Patrick Nelly continues to make a difference in her athletes' lives, she wants them to remember something important.
My biggest thing is something that my coaches all taught me, my high school coach, my college coach, my post-college coach, all really just kind of taught me that being an athlete is important, but you're so much more than that.
Reporting for Duck TV Sports, I'm Jasmine McKinley.
Thanks, Jasmine. The next weightlifting competition for Patrick Nelly and the team will be next winter, but check out their Facebook for seasonal competitions. That's all we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of the spring term.
Make sure to follow us on all our social media to stay caught up on all things Oregon athletics.
And now back to Clay and Alejandra at the news desk.